But our friends that she can't be staying until the end of the movie, and she would like to ask that why are you thinking about getting a documentary at the station and how would you make it happen?
She would like to ask.
I got a friend that she would like to ask.
Why would you think about getting a documentary at the station? How did you make it happen?
Essentially, my background in filmmaking has always been revolved around adventure sports. Before filming Four Trails, I actually filmed a lot of skiing. So I'd go around the world filming sort of Red Bull action content, people, skiers jumping off cliffs, jumping off big jumps in the backcountry in parks, and they would always take me overseas to film. But whenever I came back to Hong Kong, I'd be missing being in the mountains, and I always wanted to see if there was something here I could film. So in between those trips, I could film something in Hong Kong. Hong Kong being my home, I love the mountains here, but I never knew anything what there would be out there. And my older brother, he started trail running around a similar time, and so I spoke to him. We went out into the mountains a couple times and filmed just a little piece together, just a fun piece together to film the Hong Kong mountains and to get out there. And I really, really enjoyed that. So I asked him, is there anything else in Hong Kong which, in the trail running world, which we could make a documentary about? And he knew about this challenge, and it was back in 2016 when he told me about it. And at the time, there were maybe 10 to 15 people at most doing it. It was really underground. When the event was going on, the only updates you got from people was Andre posting at the end of each trail, so-and-so has just made it. So that really interested me because it wasn't really this commercial, big, popular event, but it was one of the most extreme events out there in the world. Not only just in Hong Kong, but globally, it was just considered one of the most toughest challenges. So my background with action sport filmmaking, plus the fact that it's in Hong Kong, I just thought there was so much opportunity for me as a filmmaker, but also to showcase what Hong Kong is all about. I learned more about the event, that it's all about the people that take it, their personal journeys, and I just felt like everything combined, the whole ethos of this event would be something I would be interested in filming. So that's how I found Four Trails, and that's why I made it all about it. And say I could do it better or anything like that. A documentary, and especially one like Four Trails, it's so long. So the event itself, as you've just seen, 3 days, 3 nights. And there are so many stories, so many different things that happen throughout the whole 3 days. And I could say, I wish I had more cameramen out there so I could capture more stories that potentially I missed. And there's a very good chance, I'm almost positive that I missed some specific events, but also you just don't know where or when they're going to happen. So I could say now I wish I had more people to be scattered even more over Hong Kong to capture these moments. But I think in some ways it's unrealistic to think that. However, in saying that, I do wish that I had more people to film, not because I wanted to scatter them more around Hong Kong, but just because filming this challenge, I didn't really realize at the time how challenging as a filmmaker it would be, on our bodies as well. So to give you an example, we had 12 cameramen, that's how much we had for the whole 3 days, and there were 4 of us who worked through the entire 3 days and 3 nights non-stop with minimal sleep. So myself, I had maybe 1 to 3 hours of sleep, and I'm trying to direct and coordinate people, but I'm going through the same experiences that the runners are going through. So you see them hallucinating, you see their bodies deteriorate, and as a filmmaker, the same sort of thing is happening to us, but in a different way. So there were decisions that we needed to make, and I'm trying to make these decisions really tight. And one of the best examples I have of this is on the final morning, where Jackie and Salomon are climbing up Sunset and Lantau Peak respectively. And we had originally planned to send somebody up Lantau Peak to catch the beautiful sunrise on Lantau Peak. But because Jackie sort of had this unexpected journey, he was now on Sunset Peak, and if we went up Lantau, then we would miss filming him come across reach the post box. So we had to make a decision: do we continue to film or send one cameraman up Lantau Peak, or do we put all our cameramen that were available at the finish to capture this historic moment? And in our plan was to go on Lantau, so I said, we have to do this, it's in the plan, the weather's incredible, let's get this amazing sunrise up Lantau Peak. We have enough filmmakers to do it, so let's send one up there. And we were borrowing Salomon's car to get around Lantau. And we just finished filming him running up to Nong Ping. And so we drove back down him on the way to the green post box, and I said to myself, what am I doing? We can't bring all the cameramen there, we have to send somebody up. So we turned the car back around to drop somebody off at Lantau Peak to start the climb. And then I changed my mind, I was like, what am I talking about? If Jackie does finish in 50, that's way more important. So we turned the car back around again and drove down the mountain. And I just kept changing my mind the whole time. I just was doubting myself. I didn't know which was the correct answer, so we went up and down a few times. And after the event, in the end we sent one person up, as you saw, and we had enough people to cover the finish. But after the event, I saw Salomon, and he was telling me, he's like, wow, that was so challenging. That was one of the hardest experiences I've had. And on the morning of the 3rd day, I was just hallucinating like crazy. I was running up to Nong Ping, and all I could see was my car driving up and down. I was hallucinating my car driving up and down, and I had to tell him, I was like, I'm sorry, you weren't hallucinating. That was just me and my crew unable to make a decision, and we were just driving up and down the road. That's why I would have more cameramen, is just to give us a break, to be able to have everyone really fresh while they're filming, so they can concentrate on the job. But yeah, so in some ways, having more cameramen, I mean, there's so many things you could do differently, but I think with what we had, the crew that we had, we did the best job that we could do. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, I mean, this is the hard part and the distribution side of things. To give you maybe a little bit more perspective on this, This is a self-funded passion project of mine and my brother's. In some ways, we had no connections in the film industry before making this film. My career is making short films. I work, I get hired by clients to do work. And so this film was like a personal challenge of mine as well. Similar to the runners, I wanted to take something like this on. So when we finished making the film, we had this product, and we, in some ways, didn't really know how to get it out there for people to see. We tried the festival route, we reached out ourselves to distributors, but we didn't really get anywhere until we finally managed to get distribution with ECHO, and ECHO being our Hong Kong distributor. And we were told the film is a documentary, it's small, maybe it's not going to perform so well, but we love the film, we're just going to do our best to get it out there. And the film performed really, really well, enough so that now we're playing in the Australian Film Festival and being able to show to you guys. But behind the scenes, it's still just me and my brother trying to get it out there. So your question about Cathay, yes, they actually have it now on board. And we want to get it to other countries too. We hope that we can get distribution globally. We have been reached out by a few distributors in the UK, China, but yeah.
Oh, thank you. And my question is, how long was the preparation time for the 4-trial movie? Did you and your camera crew did the 4-trial yourself in bite size?
So the preparation probably started in 2017, I would say. And I say that because I made a short film about this challenge back then. And some of you may have heard it, some of you may have not. It was called Breaking 60. It's a short version of 4-trials, and it was the first time that anyone had some experience from making that film. But in terms of 4-trials and the preparation, we probably started about 6 months prior. And that included the interviews, the training runs with the athletes, all these little mini stories. And yes, I would say me, maybe more so than anyone else, but me and my brother, we probably went to most of the locations of the 4-trials, hiking them ourselves. And we did this because we wanted to sort of locate a few locations of things that we wanted to film. So we wanted to go to places where we knew we could film incredible, beautiful footage of Hong Kong. So these places would be like Tai Ma Shan, Ma Ran Shan, Neil Hill, Lantau Peak, the beaches in Saiwan, the Twins, all these places we knew would be really beautiful locations to film these runners. So we wanted to get that aspect on film. The other thing that we wanted to know was when we're there, what would be the technique to film them? So would it be best to shoot with a drone? Can we shoot with a tripod and a long lens? Do we have to shoot handheld? Trying to work out what we can film in each of the locations, so when we get there on the day, there's less having to process what to do. Because you've got to hike in 1 hour, 2 hours to get to these places, and then if you've got to get there and think about what you're supposed to do, then it can be a little bit tricky. So planning ahead of what we can do in each of these locations. The other one, we wanted to make sure that we could find locations where we could speak to the runners, where we think they're going to integrate with us, or sorry, interact with us. So places like the MTR stations, the 7-Elevens, pit stops on the mountains. We even try to find streams where maybe they would refill at streams, things like this, where we could have some interaction with them. And then the other sort of final part, which was talking to the runners themselves, talking to Andre, was we wanted to go to locations which we knew were really difficult locations, challenging locations, locations where maybe they're going to